Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Quinati, and this is my latest Raid Shadow Legend video. Today, I wanted to talk to my clan and to the rest of the people about Peydma. Peydma, if you look for her, she'll be under the Demon Spawn, and she is a Void Epic. If I can just find her. There she is. Okay. So, now I've pulled her out. Let's pull her up in the index just to give you a brief overview. Peydma was one of the first epics, void epics I pulled, and I had no idea what to think of her. And I read her kit. I had to look through a lot of YouTube videos and see what was up with her. First thing is she has an A1, which is her best feature. It runs off of defense and attack, and hits two times, and without even booking it up, it has chances or has 85% chance to place a decreased attack. With books, which isn't that expensive for an epic, but if you do get her, she's worth the books because it's a 100% chance. Pair her or don't pair her with a counterattack, and every time she hits her A1, she's going to make sure that decreased attack is on. For clan boss, that's vital. So her second one, just for continuity, is attacks all enemies. So if she has an AOE, and it decreases accuracy, which is good. It's not the best buff, but it's a buff, or a debuff rather. And then this is one of the things that I love the most about her, which is appropriate. Attacks one enemy, removes all buffs from the target, and places them on this champion. So, take her into the arena. Chris puts up all those buffs. Siffy puts all those buffs. Whoever puts those buffs on, the more the merrier. She'll take the shield, the buffs, everything right off and put it right on her. So for the magic keep, it's gold because she's very, very steadfast. She's strong. She does her job. So you can use her in multiple locations, and she will almost always take that debuff away. So how I built her was going into my roster. I built her with lifesteal because I was primarily using her to get my attack down in Nightmare. I use Altan now, but when I do Nightmare now, I use her. If it's counter... That's another thing that I wanted to bring up about her. She's void, so she's never going to be on the end of the second end of the Nightmare or Ultra Nightmare clan boss, or clan bosses in general rather, and be at a disadvantage. She's always going to have neutral advantage. So fast, I wanted just to get some speed, some crit damage, some crit rate, defense. Really, when I was building this, I wasn't thinking about as much damage as I was getting her to have sustainability. But at the same time, keeping accuracy, speed, and the ability to do damage outside of the clan boss, not relying solely on War Master procs. So defense and crit rate, you could go if you had the right rolls on substats, you could go with a HP or defense gloves, and she'd be even stronger. I went the other rate, and then of course speed boots with some good defense, and that's a good thing. Another good thing I wanted to say about her, if you notice, it's defense and attack. So primarily it's going to run off of defense, but if you get attack rolls, it's not completely garbage. Granted, you always want to run her off of defense first, and then providing the speed, which is at 182, and then way more crit rate than I'd ever need, and she hits hard. So if it's what you got and this is what you pulled from your voids on Void Rush or times two, or you're going for somebody else and you pulled a bunch of epics and this is one of them, be proud because she can hit Ultra Nightmare, or Nightmare rather, and I was doing runs and it was after 50% hit points on the Nightmare boss, and it was Force. And I put her in there instead of Altan because Altan was getting, weak attack, weak attack, weak attack. Put her in there, every single attack, bang. And then I had counters, so it was constant. She lacks the defense up that somebody like Altan or maybe somebody else that has an attack down might have. A counter attack, or like Terrell has a defense up and attack down. I'd be talking out of my butt. But anyways, my point is that if you need an attack down person and all you've got is a War Maiden, she actually can fill War Maiden's spot a little bit better. And because she's not counter affinity at all, it's even better than that. Add to the fact of her A3 and the ability to steal buffs and put them on herself, she makes viable arena and dungeon bosses. I wish I had some keys, or as a matter of fact, it is not magic. It is magic. Let's go into Magic Keep, and I think I have a run going, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Showfly Elite has a video on this. If you know Chosen Brad, he has a video on Peydma, and he did that a while ago, which is my reference for this. This is mainly for my clan, so I'm not going to go through the hassle of trying to figure out how to link a video in the description, but I just want to give him props for that because he's the one that I got most of my information from to begin with. So following through there, you notice Peydma's damage is it's right on the money. Boom. 77. Now this is where it gets interesting. Now I have Venus and Cupidus who have kind of a similar effect. Venus, when he paired with Cupidus, will remove all buffs from all characters. I use that just as a backup, but there it is. Boom. Now she's got 3 turns before she can put the shield back up, and everybody's just going to wail on her. Now I have Rhodos, and Cupidus, and Venus, and Inithway, but you don't have to have all those characters. All you have to do is a bunch of people to do damage and support her, because before I had those characters, she was the one that was in there. So, sidebar note, another character who also does this that people sleep on and don't really think about is in the Sacred Order. Errol, yeah, Sacred Order. Errol, on his A3, steals all buffs from target enemy, then attacks the target has an extra 30% chance of doing a critical. Errol has been talked about lightly by like Hell Hades when he worked with him, played with him a little bit. If you put him with a good enough support to keep him alive and to boost his damage and to put the attack down, the defense down rather on the enemy, he can one-shot people. I mean, if you can get your gear good enough to where you've got plenty of speed and then plenty of crit damage with your crit rate, you can nail it. Stealing the buff does require accuracy, so just consider that when you're using these characters who steal buffs. It does take accuracy, so you'll have to fit accuracy in there someplace, which means you'll have to use an accuracy banner. It takes a little bit away from defense and or attack, but it's worth it because of what they do and what you're doing it with. If you're just building for the clan boss and you're not worried about that, think about her A1. So, anyways, that's my video on Peydma. I hope you enjoyed it and have a wonderful day.